They're working on it. It's okay. Um, I don't know if you guys see the clock back there, but that is from one of our sponsors, Seco, and that is an NTP time clock. They actually have a NTP time source, a GPS time source in the NOC. So if you see these clocks around, that is actually NTP time, not some random Seco device we threw in there. I mean, it probably seems like a random Seco device, but So yeah, the sponsors are still around. Please go meet them, say hello to them. They make these events possible. And I think we should start now. Welcome back. Still waiting for a few more people, so maybe give a few minutes. Kenny, ready? Yeah. Okay, so we start, welcome back. We start with the Epinik treasury report, and Kenny is our treasurer.
Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kenny Huang, Executive Council Member and Treasurer of Epinik. Today I'm going to give a treasury report. Basically, the report includes two parts. The first part is year 2017 financial report, and the second one is this year budget and activity plan. Okay, we go into the first part, year 2017 financial report. So here's the highlight for the summarize the year 2000 financial report, 2017 financial report. Our surplus of 1.5 million exceed budget by 632,000 Australian dollar. All the dollar I mentioned here will be Australian dollars. Revenue below budget 472,000. That's 2.2% below the budget. Operating expenditure less than budget $1,022,000. We also have tax credit, $82,000. Our equity position increased by 2,061,000. That's 8% increase. Our financial stability measured to 16.9 months of operating expenditure. Finally, we also have unqualified audit opinion. That was just done few days ago. Okay, starting from the detail, the first part will be operating surplus. And you can see our budget in 2017 is $922,000. But actually, what happened in 2017, our actual operating surplus was 1.5 million. That considered to be a budget variance was $632,000. Okay, here goes the revenue. Our budget revenue in year 2017 is $21.6 million, but actually our revenue is $21.1 million. Actually, the revenue we had is a little bit below our forecast. So that's because the membership growth didn't grow as fast as we anticipate. But good news, we also reduced the expense. Our budget expense in 2017 is 20.6 million, but actually expense was $19,676,000. You can see how to break down into different activity. Basically, APNIC activity including 4 areas. The first area is corporate. Second area is global cooperation. Third area is regional development. The last one will be serving the members. And most of the resources and also most of the budget was allocated to do the final one is serving the member. You can see how the expense break into different activity category. For example, like we have corporate expense, and the actually expense was $3.5 million, but the budget in last year also 3.5 million, only 1% variance. And the second part, global cooperation, was that's 2 million, close to 2 million. Probably budget is 2.2 million, and well, we're 11% below the budget. Regional development is so basically, our audit rotation policies, we rotate every 5 years. So, wait a few seconds. Coming back. So PwC right now undertook audit of 2017 audit account, and every 4th year of their 5-year term as APNIC auditor. So audit outcome of PwC provide an unqualified audit opinion. That means the account give a true and fair view of APNIC financial position, complying with the relevant accounting standards. That sounds very good news. Okay, the second part is year 2018 budget and activity plan. So the activity plan and priority list are driven the input by 3 measures from 3 different sources. The first was APNIC survey. We conduct survey every 2 years, and also complying with the EC strategic guidance. We have defined the EC strategic plan from time to time. Also, the most important is APNIC existing operational commitment. We have some sort of operational commitment. So we based on the principle to define our activity plan every year. That will be a bottom-up zero-based expense budgeting. So the budget for year 2018 will be operating expenditure will be $21.9 million. The revenue will be $22 million. Operating surplus will be considered $46,000. The capex requirement of Australian $1,013,000. You can see the budget, what we budget for this year, 2018. What we budget year 2018, total revenue was forecast will be $22,164,000. The majority income was from membership fee. All the membership fee, we will define the forecast plan from time to time. So this year we forecast the revenue from membership fee will be $20,182,000. So also expense into different categories that will be very detailed. I will not go through the detail. So actually you can download from apnic.net/transparency. All our financial data will be put in the APNIC transparency page. So our surplus this year will be $246,000. Our capex will be $1,013,000 for this year. Again, all the activity plan break into the 4 categories. The first category is a majority one with serving the members. And also second one will be the regional development and outreach. The biggest item will be corporate administration. The last one will be global cooperation. So that will be a breakdown into different categories, such as into the 4 categories: serving member, regional development, global cooperation, and corporate, in terms of full-time employee and in terms of expense and in terms of capex. So let's even go to different category in more detail. Okay, that will be end of my treasury report. As I mentioned, all the detailed treasury report and financial statement you can download from apnic.net/transparency. You can find out all the financial detail information, including the presentation slide I did today. Is there any question? Okay, if no question, then my presentation is done here. Thank you.
Next is actually me. I'll do the APNIC EC presentation, a report on behalf of the APNIC Executive Council. I'm Gaurav Upadhyay. I'm the chair of the APNIC EC. These are our current EC members. We have all of us here on the stage except for Izumi, who is remote. The APNIC EC represents the interest of the members in the governance of APNIC. We are elected from the members every year. We have rotate 4 and 3. Paul is the ex officio member as the Director General. We have oversight over APNIC activities. We provide broad internet policy issues, our broad guidance to the management, and then determine how the budget and activities are done. One of the other roles is we set membership fees, and then we also endorse policies that come up from the policy SIG for implementation. In that sense, sometimes we do send policies back to the community, and I think in the entire history of APNIC that has happened only once. And that is done when a policy can have material impact on the operations of APNIC, and so on and so forth. Like if there is a policy that says V4 and V6 addresses are free, I will probably say no. Just give an example. We also, not in the slide, we also represent APNIC in a lot of forums, participate on behalf of the members, and so on and so forth. APNIC EC, we meet 4 times a year, face-to-face. We had 4 face-to-face meetings in 2017, and I think 1 telephone meeting. We had last year in 2017, we had a joint board meeting with AFRINIC board. We have been doing the joint meetings with other RIRs. We already had joint meetings with RIPE and the LACNIC board in the past, and we finally got around to getting a joint meeting with the AFRINIC board. We are planning to have another joint board meeting with the LACNIC board this year in December. So the way it works is we have 4 meetings. 2 meetings are obviously during APNIC conferences, February and September, and then the other 2 meetings are generally in June, July, and December. The next meeting tentatively will be in June during BT NOG. We try to go to our regional NOGs for some of these meetings rather than meet in a random location and get stuck. We'd like to go and meet the communities. All the meeting minutes and the attendance records are available on the website. Just go to apnic.net/EC, and you can find quite detailed meeting minutes from each of our meetings. We have had a perfect attendance record in the 2017. Thank you to the entire EC. That makes my life a bit easier as the chair. So the activities for this year, the 2018 APNIC survey the process has started. The APNIC survey happens every 2 years, and the survey provides the EC a direction on, what are important for our members and what they want us to do and how to prioritize things. Because we do have very successful conferences twice a year, and APNIC trainers and APNIC staff interact with a lot of our members. We still don't reach all our members in any substantive way. So the survey is the mechanism where we try to reach to everyone, not just our members, but also stakeholders and the general community to give us feedback. The APNIC survey is independent and anonymous, and it's just not for members, as I said. And the decisions, the feedback you give there are very important for APNIC EC. We just completed focus groups and individual interviews a couple of weeks ago, and the focus group and individual interviews will feed into the design of the survey. The online survey will start in June 2018, and will run for 4 weeks. The survey is being conducted by a professional company in Australia called Survey Matters. They've done this once already for us, and they are coming back to do it. So please participate. It is important. Of course, there are going to be gifts and presents and early birds and things like that. But despite that, we really want all of you to participate and tell everyone else to participate who is part of the community. Survey results will be presented at the next meeting in Noumea. Finances. We just heard Kenny with the detailed financial report. If you remember the presentation from the last time in Taichung, our membership growth has kind of started to play too. So in the last quarter, the number of members the growth was not as high as expected. As of end of last year, we have 6,557 members. Our 2017 operating surplus exceeded the budget, because both revenue and expenses are below budget. Fewer members, less revenue, but we also managed to reduce a lot of cost or did not spend enough so that the expenses were also below budget. Our total surplus for 2017 is Australian dollar 1.55 million. So if you ask what happens with the surplus, we take a little bit of it, put it into our reserve fund, and then the rest goes as operating, cash flow for the rest of the year. And periodically, once we think we have enough operating cash flow, the money goes into the reserve fund, that is for which we have an 18-month operating target. We have approved the activity planning and budget for 2018 that Kenny just presented. We have been having very critical discussion about fees and the strategic direction of APNIC, because if you've been to Jeff's presentation yesterday or day before, we are predicting to run out of V4 in about 2.5 years, 3 years, as in completely exhaust 103/8, right? Post that, the revenue is going to remain pretty flat, or at least that is the expectation. So we are continuing to discuss on how to continue to operate APNIC in the best way we can without having to make large changes to the fees. Next important activity for APNIC EC is the policy endorsement. We reviewed and resolved to endorse 4 policies that reached consensus in Taichung. Prop 116, 117, 121, and 122. Thank you for the community for agreeing on these policies and participation in the policy SIG and on the mailing list. The APNIC EC appoints one of the members of the NRO NCASOAC. They have 2 names. They are the same bodies based on what functions they do. We appointed Henry, Henry is somewhere. Uh, Henry, can I see you somewhere? I thought. Anyway, Henry from Indonesia to the vacant seat on the NRO NC. Previously, we had Aftab as the nominated member, and then he got elected in Taichung. And so now we have three members from the APNIC to the NRO NC ASOAC for this year is Aftab Siddiqui, Brajesh Jain, both of them elected, and Henry as appointed by the EC. Then there is a new committee that the APNIC needs to send representatives to. This is the INA Review Committee, or we tend to refer to it as the RC. It's a new committee that was born out of the INA transition, that we spent so many years on. Basically, the idea is there is a review committee that exists to make sure that PTI, which is the successor of INA, is doing its job properly, and there's no, anything wrong with whatever work they are doing. It's mostly technical in nature. For that, the EC resolved to set up a process to appoint the RC members. For 2018, for this year, we have appointed Batan and Simon and George Kho from the APNIC staff. Going forward, the process has been set up so that we are going to elect one of the members and nominate one of the members. And then, of course, the staff member continues as is. So from 2019 onwards, the RC will comprise of one APNIC staff representative, and that is actually defined in how the RC has to be formed. The review committee has to have one staff member on it from each RIR. So one member will be appointed by the APNIC EC, and one member elected by the APNIC community. And we're going to use the same election process used for APNIC policy SIG for that election. And the next election will happen at APNIC 46. Each appointment will be for a 2-year term starting 1 January 2019. So each member will get, when they get elected or get nominated, that is for 2 years term. So this is an ASO review. We had a very interesting session yesterday morning. In the last ASO review meeting in Taichung, we had agreed that the recommendations 1 to 17 were perfectly valid, and we need to implement them. Following that, when the NRO EC and the ASOAC, as in the collective of all the RIRs, agreed to implement the recommendations in February of this year, like earlier this month. On the last recommendation, the NRO launched a RIR ward consultation process in January. We actually launched our working group in Taichung. That's why we'll be the first one to provide inputs. And we'll get to hear from Aftab later today about the outputs of the ASO review session. The other update is on APNIC Foundation. Paul touched a little bit about it earlier in the day. 2017 was the first year of full operation by APNIC Foundation. We incorporated it. We've set up the systems. We've got 3 board members now. And we're still recruiting more. The first foundation board member is scheduled for 17th May in Hong Kong. Some of the work the foundation is doing is already, participating in projects and contributing and raising funds. I think end of this year when we do the report, or even in Numia, we'll actually start seeing outputs from the foundation coming in. So far, we've been mostly busy setting it up, getting it running, and gradually we'll be transferring things like the ESIF grants program and those related matters into the foundation, including transferring 2 of our APNIC staff into the foundation. You can always talk to Duncan and Sylvia if you want to know more about the, can you stand up, 2 of you? If you want to know more about the foundation, these two are the people to talk to, what they are trying to do, and and be aware they'll try to raise funds from you. So, so if you are going to be in Hong Kong around those dates, tell these guys, and maybe we are trying to do a seminar, and maybe you can come and participate. Before I end, we always welcome feedback. As I said yesterday in the Meet the EC, we always like to hear from our members, whether it's at these APNIC conferences or at any other conferences you might see us, or even via the EC submission feature on My APNIC. There is contact us form on the APNIC website, or just any other means. You can tweet, you can put a message on Facebook, you can WhatsApp, you can Viber, whatever works for you. We are always easy to reach out. So that's us. Thank you very much. If there are questions, I will take it at the end of this session. No? I think I'm looking for someone now, right? Policy SIG update. Yep, next is Sumon, going to give us a policy SIG update, or the report on the policy SIG.
Good afternoon, just 12, so we are afternoon, so I want to give the policy SIG update. We have a 2 session yesterday, policy SIG session, and it started with this is the agenda. I'll go into detail. And started with a SIG co-chair election. We have 3 candidates: Burton Sherrier, Sean Stewart, and Ching Hang Koo. And in the election, both Burton and Ching Hang are elected for next 2 years' term as a co-chair of policy SIG chair. Burton and Ching Hang, can you please just stand up? Congratulations to them for elected. And then we have an implementation update. Already got to mention that in APNIC 44, we have 3 proposals passed, and those are implemented on 20th November 2017. And in the earlier meeting, APNIC 43, we have Prop 117 was passed, and that was also implemented in 4th August 2017. This year, we have our session started with the first new proposal, that PODI 103/8 IPv4 transfer policy. It was in response to the earlier policy, Prop 116, we have passed in the last meeting, that for the /103 block, you cannot transfer for 5 years. So there is a proposal coming in that those who have received the IP address before September 2017 should allow to transfer their IP addresses. But the proposal didn't reach consensus and returned back to mailing list for further discussion and modification. Then there is another proposal coming back from the last meeting, that Prop 120, final /8 pool exhaustion plan. In fact, so far there is no guideline that when this 103/8 pool will be exhausted, what should be how should APNIC would act on that. So there is this proposal has a suggestion having 2 queues, but there are different opinions, different suggestions in the meeting, and didn't reach consensus, and it also went back to the mailing list for discussion, and probably the proposer has a lot to do with getting all this feedback and coming up with a new proposal in the next meeting. And there were 2 proposals that also came from the last meeting, that Prop 118 and Prop 119. One is no-need policy in the APNIC region. That is, it's recommended that to transfer IP address from one member to another member or from inter-area transfer, we don't need any policy any condition to check. It should be no policy for transfer. And second one is temporary transfer, that you can transfer temporarily to some other, and it should show visible like that it is allocated to that entity only. But the author, in the last meeting, that it went back to mailing list for modification with some suggestion, but the author didn't came back, the proposer didn't came back, and we tried to contact, couldn't contact. So this year, actually, another person actually want to volunteer to go on with this proposal, and committee agreed to allow him to come up with the suggestions received from the meeting, last meeting, and it will go back to mailing list with community feedback. It will come in the next meeting. So these are the proposals actually we have discussed. Apart from that, there is another discussion. It was actually a proposal for 6-year election about allowing remote participation in the 6-year election. But so again, we have got a lot of feedback on that. We need to work on that. We asked community if someone want to volunteer, also requested Secretariat, and EPIC EC probably will think about it and how we can move forward into that. And thank you very much all to actively participate in the politics sessions. So it was a full room and very active discussion. And thanks again to the committee for that. And that's all from the politics session update. Thank you very much.
Yes, we'll have to call that. Yeah. Can we go? I'll ask someone to do that. Yeah. Thank you, Sumarbai. Can you stay up a little bit and go back to the proposals that got consensus in this meeting? Slides.
Actually, there's no consensus in this meeting, actually.
There's
so
no meeting, no consensus
no,
here, right?
no,
So
no,
there's nothing
no,
to ask
no,
for consensus.
no.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, so there was no consensus this meeting, so nothing to call for. There was this minor change in the author, because the author has disappeared, but the community felt the proposal was worth pursuing. So we move on to the next presentation by Aftab, report on the ASO review consultation.
Thank you, Chair. And we held the ASO review consultation yesterday in the morning, and I just want to give a brief overview that we started the discussion in last APNIC in Taichung, and we decided to form a working group during that discussion, and then working group was working on the possible solution. The problem was that ASO review suggested that there are certain complexities and confusions in the current structure of the ASO. So this is the current ASO structure. There are 15 members from the community, and which is called ASO-AC or NRO-NC, as Gaurav suggested. 2 names, depends upon their roles. And then we have NRO-EC, represented by the head of the 5 RIRs. If you combine them, it represents the ASO, Address Supporting Organization. So as part of the ASO review, the report came out in August 2017. They suggested, it was recommendation 18, it suggested that there should be some changes in the current structure so that the confusions can be removed. So they suggested a couple of options in the report itself. So option 1 was status quo, just keep as it is, nothing change. Option 2 was status quo, but some increased coordination and some explanation. And option 3 was like 2 houses, keep the policy house separate from the registry house. So these were the proposed options by the items review report. Report page number 47, you can just read it. But after the Taichung session, APNIC EC suggested that it would be a good idea to consider non-status quo option. So if I just go back, so non-status, if we go with the non-status quo option, the only option left is 2 or 3, but 2 is still a status quo in some way or the other. So we started the discussion. So we called a informal session on 26th, a day before yesterday, with all the volunteers from the working group. And I would like to thank all the volunteers who joined the session on a short notice and their suggestions and comments. And the summary of that session is available on the working group mailing list. So if you are interested, you can review that as well, and who participated and what was discussed. So we discussed multiple options, and the idea brought forward was that option 3 is a much more sensible way moving forward. And we will discuss on the 2-house structure. So that was presented in yesterday's review consultation session in front of the community, and it suggested that there should be 2 houses. One is policy council, and the other one is registry council. So if you go back and look at the existing structure, I mean, it's not a big radical change, but it clarifies the roles and responsibilities in this structure. So just to summarize that what happened during the discussion, these are the summary points, and the summary points will be sent to the mailing list again. And we have requested policies again, other 6, that we can share the summary to their mailing list as well. So I just want to clarify one thing, that during the discussion, people believe that this is the only solution, and we emphasized it on a couple of times, and we said it again and again. This is not the only solution. This is just a proposed solution. And we are only talking about the structure of 2 houses. We are not fixing the number of members in each house. So we only propose that, well, it would be a good idea if we have 10 people in the policy house and 10 people in the registry house, but this is still open for discussion. And we were emphasizing on one thing, that we should agree on a structure first, then discuss the roles and responsibility and number of members in each council. So if somebody still has some confusion, then please raise your point here or in the mailing list, because we are sending it back to the mailing list, on the working group mailing list, for 2 weeks for consultation and comment period. So that would be my request as a co-chair, that please share your comments and suggestions. So that's it from my end, Chair.
Hello? Okay. Akinori Maimura from JPNIC. Thank you very much for clarifying your thought on the option 3. Then my question is how the committee member can contribute to bring another idea for the structure. Are they able to submit something, the alternative proposal for the mailing list, or what do you suggest for that?
Why not? If they think there is a better option available, then why not? The only reason we agreed on this one, that we had a rough consensus after the session, and we asked a very specific question that do you agree on the structure of two houses? And we had rough consensus on that, that yes, we do agree on the structure of two houses, and then how many people and how many members of each house will be, and what will be their roles and responsibility will be decided on the mailing list or through consultation. But if a community member thinks that there are much better option available, then why not? Just send it to the mailing list, and if community agrees on that one, why not?
Right. Okay, thank you very much.
Yes.
And Aftab, any other questions on this?
Thank you.
And I think as Aftab and Maimuna-san discussed, any other options are still very welcome. We got an early start on this as the first RIR to consider the report. So there would be some opinions or options, then please bring it to the mailing list. The mailing list has been fairly inactive, as to say that I've only seen 2 messages, I think, or something like that. So let's get some activity going in there. Having said that, I think we kind of did a bunch of changes to the agenda and removed the EPINIC survey and the EPINIC Foundation reports from the report, because both Paul and I covered it. So we're going to invite a few more presentations to this session before we do the open mic. I'd like to request Mr. Brajesh Jain, who is our representative to the ASO and has been nominated by the ASO to the ICANN NOMCOM to do a quick briefing on the 2018 ICANN nominating committee. Brajesh ji.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks to APNIC EC Chair and APNIC EC for giving me this short time. You know that there is ICANN, and then there is a nominating committee. So this year, 2018, there are open leadership positions to be filled by 2018 NOMCOM. NOMCOM, you may already be familiar that this is the independent committee created within the ICANN bylaws to appoint certain positions, to fill certain positions. In 2018, the position to be filled are 3 members of ICANN Board of Directors, 2 representatives to the at-large advisory committee. This year it happens to be 1 each for Europe and North America because of regional diversity reasons, 1 member of generic names supporting organization, 2 members of the Council of the Country Code name supporting. We all are familiar with the terms, but for benefit of some of the new ones, at-large advisory committee is the name of the global community for individual internet users who participate in the policy development work of ICANN, like we have the policy SIG in APNIC. A generic name supporting organization is a policy development body that develops and recommends to the board substantive policies for generic top-level domains, GTLDs. And this is one topic which is attracting a lot of traction in the ICANN. Country code name supporting organization, CCNSO develops and recommends to the board global policies for country code top-level domains. Quickly going that for 2018 NOMCOM timeline, I am standing before you in the outreach phase. You would see that till mid-March, this outreach phase starts. Candidate application period, early January 2018 up to 19 March, and in the coming ICANN 61, 10-15 March, there would be a sort of another outreach, and then the list will be finalized. Phase 3 assessment continues till June, and ICANN 62 Panama, this will go to the phase 4 selection, and somewhere in the July, August, the selectees are announced. And of course, ICANN 63 Barcelona 2019 NOMCOM starts. So I once again urge each of you to look at about NOMCOM, the position, detailed process, procedure, and help from the region, ethnic region, to be able to put more and more nominations and hopefully to get selected. Thank you very much. Any questions, if I can? Thank you very much.
Maimura-san can share how it is being on the ICANN board, and maybe encourage some of you guys to step up. I've been told it's not an easy job, but you know, you are already here, which is not easy to spend so much time on community. So, Maimura-san, you want to add a few words?
Yes, thank you very much, Gaurav, for the invitation, for say something. Thank you very much, Brajesh. That's very clear for what is needed from the ICANN's nomination committee. And then I do encourage the Asia Pacific regions internet committee members that, for example, I am one ICANN board member who resides in Asia Pacific, but it is, for example, in the ICANN board right now, there are only 2 persons from the Asia Pacific region. Then the nomination committee need to consider the geographic diversity for the composing the entire board. Then nomination committee definitely need a very competent candidate for the board. For their own selection of the board members. So it is a very big chance and opportunity, and then actually the leadership position of the ICANN board and the other supporting organization and committee are really rewarding, while it is really hard and time requiring. But it's really rewarding position, then please be encouraged to submit your nomination to the nomination committee, and Brajesh will be very happy, and then that his work is much easier. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I just have a message from Azumi from the ASO session. It was a long text. It took her a minute to type it out. In regards to her as the co-chair of the ASO Review Working Group, she says, thank you to all participants who shared their input at the ASO Review session. We received a lot of useful feedback at the session. As Aftab has mentioned, if you have any questions, further questions about the future of the ASO and the proposed model, please feel free to share your thoughts on the ASO Review mailing list. Anybody can subscribe at wg-aso-review@apnic.net. And she also mentions on Akinori's question that they can share their thoughts on the mailing list.
Thank you, Jamie. We do have remote participation available, so thank you for that. We did save some time, so we're going to proceed with some of the agendas from the afternoon. My target is to get you guys to go out and see more of Kathmandu, you know. But you can stop me by asking more questions. We will jump, and I'm going to request Professor Seung Song to present the IPv6 readiness working SIG report.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shen Xiongzhen. I'm from SGL University, Taiwan. It's my great pleasure to introduce the current status of IPv6 readiness measurement, BOF. And firstly, I will briefly introduce the current status of the IPv6 readiness measurement, and then I will describe the data analysis result of IPv6 readiness, and finally I'll give a conclusion. The latest BOF meeting was held this Monday afternoon, and we have invited 4 speakers from Australia, Japan, India, and Taiwan. And there are about 15 attendants in the BOF meeting. The first speaker is Jeff Smith from Telestar, Australia. Jeff introduced their network architectures and the experience, and they also showed the migration strategy to get to the IPv6 single stack. That is, they used the DNS64 as a migration step from dual stack to single stack. The second speaker is Hiroki Karabata from Jepinik. He introduced the IPv6 deployment status by each sector. And he said major ISP provides IPv6 connectivity by PPPoE or IPoE. And 3 major mobile service operators started IPv6 operation in last year. But the content providers seems to be also indifferent. The third speaker is Ajay Kumar from Mumbai, IX Indian. Ajay introduced the Indian government's initiatives. He showed that the national IPv6 deployment roadmap, the second, and the revised IPv6 transition timelines. He also introduced IPv6 deployment status in internet exchange points in India. The last speaker is Tim Wang from Tidernik. Tim introduced IPv6 deployment status by each segment, and he showed the major IPv6 milestones. He also updated the status of 3 common measurement criteria. Now I'd like to show the data and analysis result. As you can see in this figure, according to the RAP-NCC data, the average of IPv6 BGP advertisement in last year has arrived at 26.7%, and the annual growth rate is about 0.6%. And the second common criteria is service availability. According to the data from ARISA, and data is obtained from ARISA top 500 web services for each CCTLD. As you can see in this graph, and the average of IPv6 service availability in this zone has arrived at 14.01%, and the annual growth rate is about 1.07%. And Japan and South Korea have the largest growth rates. Now, let's look at the third common criteria is the user availability. According to the APNIC survey, the average of IPv6 user availability in last year has arrived at 12.92%, and the annual growth rate is about 5.94%. India jumped to 52.21%. Finally, I'd like to give a conclusion. The growth rate of the user availability shows that most Asia-Pacific countries made huge progress in last year. As to IPv6 BGP advertisement, it increased by 0.6%. As to IPv6 service availability, it increased by 1.07%. And different methodologies and the criteria of readiness measurement are very welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Okay.
Professor. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your continued leadership in the IPv6 measurement BOF. Okay. Shyam here? Cooperation C? Okay, so I'm just trying to figure out. I think I've just been advised that Dr. Govind is here to be able to present a report on the cooperation SIG. And I think congratulations are also in order for the folks in India for jumping so high last year. I think based on reports I've seen, it's probably primarily contributed by the people at Reliance Jio. I'd like to see the engineers at Reliance Jio. So if I know there are Jio folks around. Are you still around here somewhere? Amit or Leroy? But there are Reliance Jio folks around here. I saw them this morning, so if you see them, compliment them so that I'm talking about Reliance Jio. Compliment them about the work they've done because it's pretty impressive. And I think the deployment continues to be pretty good. Thank you, Professor Singh Song, once again. And now I invite Dr. Govind.
Thank you, Chair. Very good afternoon to everyone. This is the Cooperation SIG report, where I'm the chair and Billy Cheon is the co-chair. This started with the election of the co-chair. There are three nominees, Dr. Rajesh Ramachandran, Billy Cheon, and Bikram Shrestha. So the co-chair election was conducted. Bikram Shrestha was elected as co-chair for 2-year term. On behalf of the Bikram Shrestha is here. Can you stand up? Thank you. On behalf of the community, thanks to Billy Cheon for his contribution and services as Cooperation SIG co-chair. Now the agenda. I'm coming to the
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So this year's agenda, the topic was who is accuracy, present status, and its challenges. There were 5 speakers, one from the Craig from EPNIC, Richard Leaning from RIPE NCC, Nabinda Aryal from Nepal Police, Alice Munia from GAC Rep, and Anurag Bhatia from Hurricane Electricals. So Craig initiated the discussions about how the WHOIS data evolved over the years. IP addresses are gaining value as a true record of custodianship of IP resources for due diligence. He talked about privacy versus accountability, and there needs to be a kind of balance between the two. Also, he mentioned, does LEA require registration data up to the end user level, or happy with the data one step removed from the end user? He also said that whether the contractual agreement would be a better option rather than a legal agreement. Further, taking it further to the law enforcement agencies, Richard from RIPE NCC talked about how they are engaging the LEAs in their part of the world in a productive manner with understanding each other's requirements, expectations on WHOIS database, and proactive engagement initiatives between RIRs and LEAs. They are conducting training, education, and capacity building aspects with the LEAs so that it comes up understanding each other's viewpoint and misunderstandings if it is there. They have signed MOUs with Europol. They are member of Interpol and following the Public Safety Working Group in the ICANN. Further, taking to the rep from Nepal, Police Nabinda Aryal, he gave his practical example and the challenges in this country. WHOIS is one of the starting point of investigations. Long delay in investigation process due to inaccurate and processes like MLATs, LOR, etc., which is hindering further to reach to the culprit. CGNAT deployment is adding added level of complexities. need for a global coordination with regional internet registries. Public safety is foremost and require cooperation with all. That is what he said, seeking industry assistance and collaborating with the various stakeholders in the area of this WHOIS database. Then coming to the Alice Munia, she represented ICANN in a way. She quoted how the ICANN has created a public safety working group in ICANN to engage with LEA and to improve WHOIS accuracy. Public safety working group members are representing law enforcement interest in the working group, access and accuracy of registration data in particular, GAC outreach and capacity building. GAC is reaching out to the various countries and involving their LEAs to come up with a possible solution to improve the WHOIS data, evolving next generation of registration process. That is what ICANN is doing in the public safety working group. Anurag Bhatia from Hurricane Electricals talked about the perspective of WHOIS from the operators and peering perspective. One of the suggestions he made was the incentivizing the operators and users, etc., to update WHOIS. It can be an annual email alert to the ISPs, operators, and end users, validating the WHOIS data, which is otherwise is not possible. Carrier gate NATs deployed at very significant scale, and it is becoming difficult to map an end user unless there is a possible solution, maybe deploying the IPv6. I will summarize of all the discussions which took place in the cooperation SIG, that these are some of the recommendations which came out. Was the WHOIS database is a critical link for any kind of investigations. Annual contact system of upgrading the database. That is the way to move forward. One of the suggestions, need to work together with all stakeholders, whether it's the government, LEAs, operators, ISPs, and users. Coordination across different jurisdictions and RIRs. The global coordination mechanism have to be evolved, would be worked out. Training, education, and capacity building, that is the buzzword for the moving forward in this area. Issue of privacy, accountability, data protection. With the upcoming GDPR coming up, I think we should move in a way that to see how this WHOIS database is going to play around with the upcoming privacy issues and the data protection issues. So that is what we planning to have the next cooperation SIG to discuss further beyond the WHOIS data and how these two issues like privacy and accountability and the data protection will take place in that. Thank you. These are our panelists. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Govind. I'm trying to see if Sam Nair or Ajay Tripathi, either of those two. I see Ajay is there. Can you stay around for the APIX report? Sunny, you want to go with the hackathon or should we go with the APIX? Yep. I think we'll just move on to the APIX report that will be presented by Ajay next. While Ajay gets set up, thank you, Dr. Govind, for the report. I think the cooperation SIG has a very important role in our community, and I congratulate the new co-chair and thank our outgoing co-chair Billy and Dr. Govind for his continued leadership of the cooperation SIG. Next we have Ajay presenting a report on APIX. Ajay, you can go on.
Thank you, Chair.
Slides being loaded.
Till slides are loaded, I must congratulate Gaurav as a chair for utilizing the time. and giving all participants time to visit around, see the Kathmandu. So thank you, Gaurav.
Wow. Is it going to take time with this slide for APIX? I'm not so sure what's going on. Okay, looks like we'll just have to switch the presenters. Format error or something? Oh, wrong size. Okay, so we'll actually let Ajay sit there and have Sam come and do the NIR SIG report.
Good afternoon. So I am here to report NIR 6 session. I am Shyam Nair, co-chair. I have my co-chair, I'm chair, and my co-chair Zen Yu is also here. So the NIR 6 session done on 26th of February 2018, which is a Monday. It was started at 9:30 a.m., first session in the morning, till 11 a.m. Around 48 participants. So 6 session, we have designed the agenda like this. There were 6 updates from the NIR community with an interactive session and question answer sessions too. So the first update was given by CINIC. They have given the main contents of the presentation was internet development in China, membership growth, ASIP allocations, training program, and the national plan for IPv6 allocations. So Zen had presented from CINIC. They had released a statistical report on China internet development. China internet users had reached 772 million, which is 55% of the total penetration. Mobile internet users are 753 million, which is 97% of the total internet users. Due to the rapid growth in this year, with rapid growth of cloud computing, mobile internet, and IoT, the number of the members has increased. By the end of February 2018, is 1,392. CINIC has allocated more than 330,000/24 IPv4 address and about 10,700 V6 address blocks. About 40% of its members hold V6 address. Last year, CINIC held 2 workshops for engineers with good participation. Regarding V6 deployment plan created by government in 3 stages, 3rd stage to be completed by 2025 with complete transition. Goen updated from VNIC. The main content was NIR activities, updated policies, other statistics, and upcoming activities. Total membership of VNIC is 349, allocated 50 million V4 address and over 100 V6 blocks. Have created national plan on V6 deployment in the country through V6 task force. Since last 2 years have seen good progress in the V6 deployment. Lot of activities planned for future to shape the national plan for V6 deployment. Oh, sorry. Lot of activities planned for future to shape the national plan for V6 deployment. various meetings organized with other NIRs as part of the training and promotional activities. Statistic of Twinic. Twinic has team updated from Twinic. So statistics of Twinic members, Twinic's activities, future activities. Twinic now have 63 members 63 total members. For V6, Twinic updated the status of V6 deployment in Taiwan, run through the roadmap and milestones achieved so far. IPv6, Twinic has allocated 2,346/32 V6 address blocks. Twinic hold Internet Forum and Twinic IP policy meeting this year. Have done 4G V6 trial project with some ISPs. As usual, V6 training courses and other promotional activities will be conducted this year too. IDNIC update. Benjamin updated from IDNIC. Membership update, allocation status, traffic profile for IIX, activities, training schedule. Presentation was divided into two aspects. First, with the update of IDNIC, and second, the survey of internet growth in the Indonesia. Membership now is 1,253, with 13.3% increase in the ISP sector from last year. Internet users in Indonesia is 143.26 million, that is an update actually given from the survey report of internet. So internet users in Indonesia is 143.26 million with 54.68 penetration. Detailed report you can download along with the presentation, which is available in the conference website. Now, from IRIN, Abhishek updated. Main content was IRIN affiliate status, IRIN resource allocation status, number of affiliates, state-wise affiliation status, IRIN ASN status. So total membership status as per the update is 2,401. Allocated 10.8 million V4 address so far, 4.4 billion V6 address, 1,464 AS numbers. Now from Japan, Japnik update, Hiroki updated from Japan, activities, statistic, Japnik open policy meeting, and engagement with NOC. 156 members have taken V4 address blocks, and 266 members have taken V6 address blocks. Total V6 allocation is 7,224/32, which accounts to 60% of the total IP members. 670 AS numbers assigned already, have conducted Japnik open policy meeting and very keenly engaged with NOG. So this is the 6 updates we have got from NIR community. So this is the group photo taken after the presentations. These are the presenter. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Do we have the right slides for Ajay now? Okay, so thank you once again. Thank you to all the NIRs who presented in the NIR SIG reports. The NIRs are a very integral part of the IPNIC system, and it's always nice to hear the activities they are undertaking. Next would be Ajay now. I think we got the right slides this time. Ajay? Sunny, the remote is there.
Okay. So I am going to give the APIX update. My name is Ajay Kumar, currently Secretary of APIX. So what is APIX? An Asia Pacific Internet Exchange. And why association is required? It started in 2010, a member-based organization. So we are doing the same business in same economy, same kinds of issue. So we thought that we should have an association where we can discuss, share information related to technical, operational, business, and solution regarding the internet exchanges. Till this meeting, you see the chairperson was Brian Kim, Ajay Kumar, myself is the secretary, Gavin was from Megaport as a treasurer, and Zulfi and Harjento from IIX was the meeting arrangement and website management. So we have 25 IXPs from 17 countries: Australia, Bangladesh, Cambodia, China, Hong Kong, India, Indonesia, Japan, Korea, Malaysia, Nepal, New Zealand, Philippines, Singapore, Taiwan, Thailand, Vietnam. So you see the 25 members, the name has been reflected here. So on 24th we have a meeting, 17th meeting was there. So topic discussed related to technical and operational. So IXP update, IXP database update was given by the Bijal from EuroIX, Peering DB update by the Arnold from Peering DB, Manras project by Anderi from ISOC, IXP development work at APNIC by Chihu. So most of the IXPs has appreciated the work of APNIC for doing the development of internet exchange points. And we have a presentation from HE that 150 IXPs and beyond. We have a panel discussion developing a new IXP in my country. So the panel discussion was moderated by Brian from APIX, BKNix from NPIX, KNix, China IX, MyIX, Malaysia IX, and SGIX was the participant. And after that, we have an administrative session. What was the collection from the members? Last year, we started the membership fee, 100 USD. And most of the members has paid the membership. After that, we have an election for steering committee member and Peering Asia update. Few internet exchange points had given their update: M6, Hong Kong IX, Equinix, IIX, HKIX, IX Australia, JPIX, JPNAP, KNix, Mega IX, Mumbai IX, Nixie, NPIX, TPIX, Winix has given their update. We have an election. So the new chairperson, we got Katsasu Toyama from JPNAP. Is he here? Most probably he's not here. So, and next person we had been elected by Vijay Kumar Seturaman. So can you Vijay Kumar stand? So congratulations to Vijay Kumar Seturaman. He is our new treasurer. If you are in internet exchange business and want to have some discussion or membership, you can approach any of us. From last year onwards, we have started Peering Asia event. So what is a Peering Asia? It's open and neutral peering forum events like Global Peering Forum or European Peering Forum. We observed as a APIX that for this region we should have similar events. So first event we had from 1st and 2nd November at Japan. We got the host BPIX, Equinix, JPIX, and JPNAP. So this was the 2-day events. We had meetings and conferences. We arranged the venue assuming that 200 attendees will be there. So 30 minutes meeting between two organizations to negotiate about peering interconnection was given. Conference and peering personals, lunch and social party, coffee breaks, etc. So we got very much support from the sponsors. You see 23 sponsors supports, thanks a lot to all sponsors. 239 attendees from 114 ASNs, not only from Asia Pacific, including Japan, but from North America and Europe too. Per region, from 42% was from Japan, 40 ASN from Asia Pacific, from North America 18 ASN was there, and from Europe 8 ASN. If you see the country-wise, mostly it was mostly from the Japan because it was in Japan. And after that, USA and Malaysia followed other countries. We had done the survey. It was good reputation. And we thought we should have included that what will be the future of our Peering Asia events. Most of the person said yes, we should have this event. As a secretary of APIX, we can say proudly that it was a successful event. Over 200 attendees, not only from Asia Pacific, but from all over the world, and 23 sponsors who has contributed much to this event. So, based on the survey that we should have the event, we discussed where should be the next event. And based on the result, we see that Hong Kong was selected, that we should have this next Peering Asia 2.0 in Hong Kong. We have decided the dates, October 24 to 25th, 2018. I will be requesting if you are planning to have interconnection or meeting related to the internet exchange, please block the dates. Regarding the new event, Peering Asia 2.0, it will be hosted by HKIX and HKNOG. Peering Asia, best conference location, Hong Kong. Geographically, for Asia, 5-hour air travel from most of the economy in Asia. Visa fee arrangement with most of the economy in Asia region. Many choice for the accommodation, convenient local transportation. So the host, HKIX, founded in 1950 by Chuk University. It's the only independent and neutral internet exchange in Hong Kong. There are 278 participants now. And the other host, HKNOG, founded by a group of volunteers previously, built the network for joint Apricot upon 2011, dedicated to serve the development of internet. So, Peering Asia 2.0 details, date will be 24th to 25th October, Wednesday and Thursday, and venue you can note down. The capacity, based on the previous experience, we have already identified the 200 plus.
Ajay, you need to rush up.
That's one slide. Thank you.
Thank you, Ajay. Yeah, APIX meetings are supported by APNIC during Apricot and during our regular APNIC meeting as well. So if you are an IX, you should probably participate there. And yeah, please talk to the APIX and the Peering Asia folks about participating in those meetings. APNIC will continue to be a sponsor for both APIX and Peering Asia in this year. We are pretty close, so Jamie has someone?
Very quick question from Shah Rahman, just asking if Peering Asia offers fellowships.
Does Peering Asia offer fellowships?
Yeah, currently fellowship is not available, but we will discuss and get back to.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I think that any other questions on the open mic before we break for lunch? Aftab.
Hi, Aftab Siddiqui. Just need to clarify, or I would say re-emphasize on one point regarding the ASO review session. Some of the comments I got later on was that probably we were emphasizing on only one solution. I tried probably 100 times during the consultation session that it is just one solution, and the reason I was emphasizing on that one because after working in ASO AC for 4 years, I know the broken pieces inside, and I know the best way moving forward. But if you think there is something much better, please suggest on the mailing list. As Gaurav, you suggested yourself that there is no traffic. The only emails is like me or Izumi. So, and a couple of volunteers, and thanks to them. So if you think there are better options, if you think there are better solutions, please feel free to share. And even I presented in the here that if you look at the current structure and if you look at the proposed structure, there's not a big radical change in that. The change we would like to see is in the roles and responsibilities, which we haven't even discussed. So I don't understand how come it was an enforcing decision. So if somebody still has some confusion, please feel free to discuss it here or on the mailing list. We are open to discuss any solution. It is not the solution, it was just a proposed solution. Thank you.
Thank you, Aftab. That is very clear. I think as a community, we should welcome all views and invite participation from our members. Before we break for lunch, Sunny is going to make couple of announcements.
Thank you, Chair. Just want to announce the winners of the Member Services Prize. They have completed the WHOIS Update User Experience Survey, so we had received a lot of members visiting our Member Services Lounge, and my colleagues been helping them with the WHOIS experience and WHOIS updating. So we have their business cards here. I'm going to just announce the winners. They already picked at the Member Services Lounge, but I hope they are in the room here to receive their prize. The first one is Apipal Ganabat. Apipal. Otherwise, we'll hand it over to them later. GZ Kabir. May I request Paul to hand over. And the third one is Zarni Muang from Horizon Telecom. Just once again, is Apipol here? No? Okay, we'll hand over to them. And thanks so much for all the members for visiting our member services lounge and having a discussion, conversation with our colleagues at the lounge. Back to you, Chair.
Thank you, Sonny. I think I don't have to remind you that the voting is continuing and it will close at 2:30 sharp. So please drop in your votes before you go for lunch, because generally I've realized people won't get back on time. So just reminding you that voting closes at 2:30. Please do that. And also, because we went through so much of the agenda, we'll only resume this session at 3 o'clock instead of 2:30. So you'll have 2 hours for lunch or to go around and do some shopping or whatnot. We'll reconvene here at 3 o'clock. The voting will still close at 2:30. So please remember, to cast your votes. And then when you come back, we'll have some more presentations, open mic, and announcements of the voting results. We still have a closing plenary after this, like after the APNIC sessions close. So we still have until the end of the day, and then we have the closing social dinner tonight. So we still hope to see you around. So lunchtime, lunch is at the usual place. In the garden outside, you will still require your coupons, which should be in your registration packets. And we will see you back here at 3 o'clock. Thank you.